stay in the character, which is important. Which brings us over to 2002, the first major, the second. Yeah, it really was the first. The first major first-person shooter of the 2000 era. And Metroid Prime is important because, for one, it's one of the few first-person shooters ever made by Nintendo. Nintendo is not normally doing first-person shooters. But its emphasis on puzzle mechanics was outlandish. I mean, the game had puzzles that were far deeper than any other first-person shooter game had ever tried to do. We're talking you have to go from one section of the map to the complete other section of the map, then back again 3 times just to solve a single puzzle, and the actual puzzle mechanics of the game were just kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Couple that with humongous boss battles that we weren't seeing a lot of at the time, just ridiculously huge bosses, and also the very moody scenario, and the fact that it pushed the Nintendo GameCube's hardware a lot harder than anyone even thought it could, because, I mean, they made that machine look like it actually knew what it was doing. It made for a very important game. Nintendo doesn't actually call this game a first-person shooter. They feel that it is so remarkably different, which is true from your standard first-person shooter, that it's considered a first-person adventure. But according to our definition of first-person shooter,
I misspelled it.
Yeah, according to our definition of what a first-person shooter is, it falls into that category. It's first-person, and you're shooting shit. But it's important because if you think about, while it was huge for Nintendo fans, people who didn't care about the GameCube really didn't play the game that much. If you think about how much more task-oriented games got after this game, it really goes to show you the influence of this actual title, which moves us on to the grand son of a bitch when it comes to first-person shooters. Now, Halo 1 was huge, okay?
Groundbreaking.
Groundbreaking, just shattered the whole face of first-person shooters, rewrote it, but Halo 2 was the one that brought the internet, high-speed internet, playing with each other, deep tournaments, and we're talking some of the most angry video game players I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
All right, Halo 2
I kind
players.
of rewrote your thing a little bit.
What'd you write?
Put a little more emphasis into certain.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it did really. This game made Xbox like the system to own, because I mean it was just huge. And what made it was so interesting about Xboxes, especially the early one, is when they started actually like keeping track of who's better than who. And that brought back the old arcade mentality. See, in arcades, the high score thing was the bomb, and I still do it today. I was bitching at you guys the other day that someone beat my score on a game. Yeah, so I hate that Jay. He deserves to die. No, but that arcade mentality of I want to see how good I am when I ranked against other people was brought back, and this time you can play online, which was awesome because you didn't have to go over to your buddy's house anymore. Now, what's some downsides that came from it? It also
strangled the arcade market.
Well, it strangled the arcade market, but that's us. That's us. But the real problem is it furthered the stereotype of gamers being antisocial, and it really made it a very antisocial concept of playing games. Before games, people said, oh, they're antisocial, but really most gamers had their groups of buddies that they spoke to personally, that come to their house and play the games. They go to the arcade and play the games. With Halo 2, we have a whole generation of gamers who have friends, quote, quote, that they've never seen their faces, never talked to in person, that they just get together and play these games.
Yeah.
What's that? That's you guys?
Not only that, I know saying Alex, he quit school. He's 16. He quit school, and all he does all day, every day, is play Halo 2 and Modern Warfare. That would be my brother. That's
Is he making money doing it?
No.
Neither is my brother.
Not at all. He says he's going to get his GED and then go to college, but no, he sits there and plays it every single day.
And there are people who have done that, and they have made a career out of it.
Yeah,
play it so much that they become good at it, and then they start entering tournaments.
But the thing that people have to understand is it is about 1,000 times harder to become a successful professional video game player than it is to become a professional football player.
Yeah.
Okay? And that is completely true. I mean, in the history of professional video game playing, we're talking like 10, 20 people at max who actually still make a living today. There's some people who for like a month or two were able to pay their rent with their game playing, but when we're starting to talk about like Diago and Fatality, these people are there's very few people like these gentlemen who actually, they don't have any other job. They just go from city to city, country to country playing video games. But this game also brought that international playing field. While Quake brought in a huge playing field in the United States, I'm talking Halo, since you're competing with people all over the place, you really could go anywhere, yeah?
So, just wondering, what time frame, you're probably going to laugh a lot when I say this, what time frame was Twin Galaxies big?
Time frame Twin Galaxies? Twin Galaxies was really big in the 80s, and it's kind of slowed down in the 90s, and then when the King of Kong Fistful of Quarters movie came out, which documented the battle between the two Donkey Kong champions, which, by the way, both of their scores have been beaten by some Chinese mathematician, just so you know. But that made them really big again in the early 2000s. But yeah, they were really big then. That was when Twin Galaxies was also an arcade. That arcade has closed down since then. But yeah, it was in the 80s. But that's not a stupid question. I mean, it's just, if you don't follow it, you don't follow it. So that brings us to the modern age. There is one game that has actually managed to take down Halo, and that is Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
Modern Warfare 2, we cannot yet determine how influential it is to video games because we are living it right now. This is the living arcade video game based history that we are experiencing right now. You guys can see with your own eyes how influential this is. I like to lovingly refer to this video game as the girlfriend killer. Most guys I know who have had girlfriends for years bought this game and lost their girlfriend in like 3-4 months.
Hey,
Because
you should probably warn your brother this issue.
There's a trick to it. You just have to get them playing with you. Once you do that, you're fine.
Yes,
or take a break and play Monopoly with them sometimes.
Yeah, that works too.
but that's just the thing.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna make you sing "I'm a Little Teapot" like I do in the martial arts school when that happens.
You're in my house.
My class.
I'm assistant moderator. I'm stepping away.
Okay. So, Modern Warfare 2, we can't really... Ladies, don't make me ask you to step outside. I'm going to see you to the principal's office. No, but we can't really determine how influential Modern Warfare 2 is and how much it will change because basically nothing has toppled it over yet. I don't really consider the Halo franchise out quite yet. But Modern Warfare 2 is definitely the top contender here and like in the championship position when it comes to first-person shooters. People are playing it like crazy. It's insane how deep its play mechanics go. I have sat here and watched D'Anthony play that game on the big screen for hours and hours and hours, and just the amount of strategy, the amount of strategy you can put into this one game is just phenomenal. And so I'm very excited to see what the next handful, like over the next 10, 20 years, how first-person shooters will change strictly based on the influences of this game.
So you did skip one.
Which one?
That actually influenced Call of Duty, period.
Mm-hmm.
And the actual Call of Duty game came out before this, and it's progressed into Modern Warfare, which people forget that part.
Oh, yeah, well,
But the before that was the Tom Clancy. All the Tom Clancy. Yeah,
I actually considered talking about Tom Clancy, but his whole genre spans so many different ranges. I really think he should get a class in and of himself.
True, but the mechanics of all of Tom Clancy's games, this is what it's based off of.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's where it all came from. But this one took it the step further and made it so much more of a smooth mechanic and made it so much more realistic that it's just not going to be beat.
Which, as Victor has already proven, there's a lot more first-person shooters than these. I basically gave you guys a quick, 20, 30-minute rundown of the history of games that ran from the 70s all the way up to modern age. There's tons of first-person shooters that were also influential, but these are the ones that, from what my viewpoint is and from just general consensus over the video game community, these are the ones that really have stood out. So we got any questions before we move on to the next thing? No? All right. Let's get ready. I think what we're going to do is we're all going to gather around and play some Battlezone on the global arcade machine. It doesn't have the double joystick gameplay. It uses the trackball. but it's super duper fun. We put it on free play. All right, so we're gonna play Battlezone. I'm gonna turn the machine on free play, and then we'll.
That one doesn't have a free play button, does it?
Yeah, it does. It doesn't have a credit button. It has a test button where I can turn on to free play.